Hey guys, today is certainly a fun one. We're testing firmware 4.11.32. This is a new firmware update for the Mini 2 and we're using Dji Fly 1.5.4. So just go and make sure that all your settings are still correct. Sometimes they are reset once you do any firmware or Dji Fly update. Make sure it's all correct and then we'll get straight into the actual video. Now today is super foggy and it is risky flying in the fog because it is water vapor, but I love it. So what I've done is I've got my Ulanzi strobe attached to the bottom of the drone. Now I've talked about this strobe a lot and this is my favorite strobe to use. It's lightweight, so it keeps under 250 grams. It's got some adhesive on it so you can attach this to the side or to the top, but in conditions like this it's also good to have it on the bottom of your drone. You can change the colors of this light. It's powered by USB-C and I haven't had to charge it once at all since buying this, so this is a fantastic little strobe. I will link it in the description below, but if you're after a strobe for your drone, any of the drones, this is the best one. And for that added protection for today, I've sellotaped it to the bottom of my Mini 2. Let's go. So I am testing both the drone performance and the fly app. Now as you can see, in conditions like this, it is really cool to fly in. You can get some fantastic video both from the ground and higher up, and today we've got really low fog levels, so this is awesome. We can get now above the fog and capture some spectacular video. Let's get airborne. Flying in the fog is certainly risky, but look at this, at 119 meters high. This low-lying fog just produces an amazing video. I have never took footage like this of fog, such thick fog. It's absolutely stunning. So if you are daring and you want to risk it, you could get video like this. How cool is that? Spectacular. But let's get this gimbal calibration sorted. So under control calibration, I'm going to get it to manual and just adjust this until that calibration is spot on. I do wish this was better, but so far the drone performance and the app performance are excellent. So let's go and take a few photos now on this drone. You can see now why it's just too hard to pass. I mean, this just above where I am is absolutely amazing. It looks like we're 30,000 feet in the air on some airliner. This is absolutely incredible as we now point the drone with a bit of that sun flare. Awesome, absolutely awesome. I have never took footage like this. You know, it's so rare to get this opportunity and there is no way I was missing it. For me on the Mini 2, this is probably the most stable app, certainly on iOS. Everything's working brilliantly. The zoom function works great as well. Just look at that now. We've got 1x zoom here at 4K. We can click on that and it'll go up to 2x zoom and still keep a nice video image there. You can see the mountains there just into the distance, and we can change this to 2.7K as well. I'll only use 2.7K for 60 and slow it down, but you do get 3x zoom in 2.7K. So yeah, everything on here is working great, apart from I've just found a few issues with the sphere photos. I'm just going to fast forward this quickly now, and I wasn't too happy with these results. It could be because the sun was directly pointing at the drone, but they aren't very good at all, not usable. I'd rather just take manual photos in RAW and then just edit them myself. But aside from that, everything else is great. Now quick shots are working great. I'm not going to do a full video on quick shots, we've done that a million times. I did thought it would be pretty cool just to see if can I drag a box around one of these fog clouds here, but no. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to, but how cool would that have been if you could have got a quick shot? Certainly circling around a patch of this fog. That would have been cool, but never mind, that was just a bit of fun there, so I wasn't expecting that to work. But everything else has worked really great. But we need to now think whatever goes up must also come down. So when you are bringing the drone down like this, it's important not to come straight down in a line. You need to actually go down on an angle like this. By doing so, when there's heavy fog like this, the drone may think it wants to land because it detects an obstacle or something underneath it, and we don't want that to happen, obviously, so make sure you go down on an angle. But the battery has done really well, the signal has done brilliantly considering the fog, the satellites, everything on this app I'm really happy with. Make sure you just go and check all your settings again. If you're going to be doing it in fog like this, you need to have your LED colour the brightest possible. I find the blue is probably the brightest. You want it in follow mode. The gimbal calibration, if you are having any gimbal calibration issues, is there just under control. You can do auto on a flat surface, or manual is the one I tend to use the most. Everything else regards to the actual flight app settings is exactly the same on iOS. We can still change that phone charging. The camera settings, you want to get into the habit of having your grid lines on. I don't use video subtitles much anymore, to be fair, so I'll just keep them off. And grid lines, have the rule of third one as a minimum. You don't want to have it just a blank screen just like this. It's really hard to frame your image, so have the rule of thirds one, that's the one in the middle, and keep that on all the time. Auto sync HD photos for iOS, keep that on as well to save you a bit of time transferring photos. Transmission, you want to keep that on dual band. Everything else is exactly the same, but in regards to actual performance of it, I've had any issues at all in 4K, 2.7K or 1080p. It's a really stable app, and I don't know what the firmware has updated, it didn't really say as normal, but it is nice and stable, and everything, touch wood, has worked brilliantly. So go and have a mess around with this. You can do the exactly the same things before, so if you press and hold on here for your exposure, if you're not using a ND filter, you can lock your exposure by pressing and then holding until that lock icon comes on. I haven't got an ND filter on today, normally I always fly with them, but in pro mode you can see normally I've been 1/50 as my shutter speed, but look how bright that screen is without an ND filter on. So I'm gonna have to bring that shutter speed all the way up, and this is why ND filters are really important. I actually might have another flight soon with my ND filter on, just to try and get some even more footage. But yeah, it's just about, you know, taking risks. It is risky this, so be careful, be really careful. Your drone may get wet, keep motion on it all the time, but certainly the footage that I've captured today I'll be able to use again and again, and it's really rare to get moments like really low fog levels like we're having to be able to capture these videos at not really that high. It is amazing. So you will need a strobe, so go and check this out in the link below. Take care guys, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.